All right, this Hangout's live. What is this, Lady Ada?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to your weekly Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. show and tell. It's me, I'm Lady Ada. We're here at Adafruit in the fabrication department. And with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control. And it does not smile. Stop asking him to smile. No, will not. It's okay. He looks so cute. Okay, and we've got all sorts of people showing off their projects on this show and tell. So come on by and show us your makerspace, your hackerspace, your cosplay, your electronics, your robots, your ham radio, whatever the heck it is you're building. We'd love to see it. So let's kick it off with Tony D. Everybody else, please mute your mics and hold on until we call on you. We'll get out of here at about 7:50 if we
This
can.
is the only half an hour I smile. That's not true. But
you're
no,
smiling on the inside.
But no second longer. Okay. Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, yeah, so just got a couple quick things to mention. So Monday I did a live stream on a neat little thing with this guy, which everyone loves, the Raspberry Pi Zero. So there's a cool piece of software that I saw mentioned, I think on Reddit, called Pi Shift. And it's basically, the idea is it takes the Pi Zero, and because it doesn't have the USB hub on it, the USB micro, like little connection that you use to connect like USB host devices, that goes straight to the BCM 2835 or whatever, the CPU on the Pi. And because of that, you can put it into different modes. Like it can act like a USB device. And Lady Ada did a big stream, months ago, showing how to do that. And so the idea with Pi Shift is you turn the Pi Zero into a little USB drive, and then you connect that to your computer. And if you drag Python code onto that USB drive, it'll just go and run it. And so, like, if you wanted to program the Pi and you didn't want to mess with SSH and like connecting to it and all that stuff, and especially on the Pi Zero because you need like a network adapter. It's a pretty cool idea, I think, that you can just plug it into your computer and just go and get started and start putting code onto it. So check it out. I did a live stream Monday. It's still kind of, I'd say, like beta, like a fleshed out proof of concept. So it's, not totally ready to just drop in and go, but I think it's a pretty promising start. I think it's a cool idea for it. And then the other quick thing, Friday I'll do another live stream to finish up the little Wi-Fi board. So this is the ESP Feather Huzzah ESP8266. So I've done 3 videos already on how to make these Wi-Fi boards talk to a Raspberry Pi. And so I'm going to do a 4th one, which will probably be the last one for now in this series this week. So just check it out if you're interested in little Wi-Fi boards and Raspberry Pi stuff.
Okay. This is the golden age of live internet broadcasting for talented people who do electronics, 3D printing, and more. So
Soon we're going to have our 1-year anniversary of Disco Lady Ada.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
It's the golden age of streaming, and you can tell because Tony has a golden members-only jacket.
Oh, yeah, the gold shirt, right?
Every week a different member.
Yeah.
I'm going to open it down.
Yeah, no, this is one of the real ones here, members only. So.
You can't fake that.
You're a man.
Okay, speaking of amazing live streams and more, Pedro.
Hey, Pedro.
What you got this week? Oh, you're
mute. You're mute.
You're mute.
Can't hear
Was
you.
it Maker Charades? Ooh.
We heard you before. What? Uh-oh.
All right.
How about now?
Okay. I was ready to do Maker Charades. Anytime.
All right, finally, the much anticipated little Pi Girl Zero is coming out next week. Yay,
Wow.
took forever, but it's finally here. So Noah's been doing a ton of live streams on doing the build of this, and this was all based on user feedback. So finished up the video, and all of the PCBs just came in. I think we already shipped you the finalized one, Lamar. So I should be getting that soon. And yeah, ready to rock. And I think he's already starting on the next one.
This is great. This is beautiful. I love it. And the blue is, and the duotone. So yeah, and the shoulder buttons are great. You guys have, it's amazing seeing the progression from the original Pi Girl, which was like very kludgy. Like it worked and people built it, but it's like we learned so much. We're now experts at making Raspberry Pi portable game, and this is like your best yet.
I think so.
It looks the perfect proportion.
Yeah, super ergonomic, so it's very nice with the little Pi Zero inside there. So just waiting on maybe a Pi Zero 2 to make it more powerful, but for now, it's perfect. And then we got a sneak peek of right after that. Lamar, you did a live stream on this one. I just wanted to show that. We'll show it again next week, but
that's cool.
Some cool little blinky there from Phil B.
But what is it?
Star Trek communicator.
Well, today is Star Wars Day, right? So this is
I know, right?
Talk about this today.
That's so cool. This is Princess Leia's cup, like a compact for makeup or something. I don't know.
Oh, don't get them
I get
mad.
shot on my way home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get blasted on my way home.
I know, but we'll show that off next week. We'll do a live call maybe to Phil or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Lovely preview. Okay, Pygos are and
All right.
the communicator.
Yeah, the PyGirl is becoming the hello world for when you get into Raspberry Pi and 3D printing and all that. Just like installing Linux used to be like, oh, I installed like this whatever variant of Linux. Now when we go to events and everything, people pull out their PyGirl and they're like, I made this. So it is like, hey, this is one
Badge
of
of
my first
honor,
projects.
Yeah, and then people are, and we've gotten really good. We figured out like, oh, you have the image ready to go, and
Yeah.
like here's how you teach it. And like you have the custom PCB, like that's worth it. Like when I first built, it, I was like, I just cut apart PCB because I was only making one, but now we're making so
Yeah.
many.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Thank you so much for
All right,
joining.
thanks, Peter.
Okay, Lon, welcome back. How's it going?
Hey, Lon.
Hey, do I look better this week? I got much more bandwidth now.
Yeah, you're like
no,
super high
you're-
res.
You're like right here.
Are you here?
Hi.
Right there.
Screen.
So keeping in the theme of shop infrastructure, my shop is my desk. I'm working this week's project, amongst many, is a tape caddy to go with my soldering station caddy. And basically what I want to do is, I was keeping my stuff on a piece of pipe with a bungee cord to hold the wheels on there. And I wanted something a little fancier than that. So I looked at the tape, and pretty much every roll of tape, if it's book tape or masking tape or gaffer's tape, all has about a 70 millimeter hole in there on the spool. And so I wanted to make little adapters that would fit every kind of tape I have, that would put them on the single half-inch PVC pipe. And so what I did is I used, I 3D modeled the little spools, the little adapters, and then I 3D printed them. And the 3D modeling I did in 123D design, thanks to Noah and Pedro for lots of good information on how that particular piece of software works. Let me look at my script here. But printing them, I don't have a printer at home here. I've got a Micro 3D at the office, and it does an excellent job. I don't know if I have any out right now, but the results on that were very high quality, but it's unbelievably slow. Printing, so they look like this, the little adapters.
Oh, yeah.
And printing these on the 3D Micro takes, at high res, almost 12 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I've got a couple of much lower res, faster printers at the Makerspace. And so what I ended up doing is printing a good quality one, and then sanding that down and painting it to have a nice high quality master. Then I was going to cast in resin, because I do that. So this was going to be my big introduction to making a fancy two-part mold. And let me share what that looked like.
Oh, yeah.
So in making a traditional two-part mold, you clay up, it's called, where one half of the silicone is going to be. And then the little divots there are registration marks. And then you pour your silicone on top of that, and then you pull the clay out, and you pour the other half of the silicone. Let me turn my screen share off. Oh, it's off. Okay. The only trick, and a trick which I apparently have failed to master, is to get enough release agent so that the two blocks of silicone don't fuse into one.
Mm.
So this one, after making that fancy mold, turned into a single block of silicone, and I had to cut the part out. But it was good enough to make casts, so this morning I made 3 of them. So I can make them much faster than I can with a 3D printer, because I'm using, in this case, a fast curing resin that sets enough to be pulled out of the mold, even at these small pieces, in probably 15 minutes. So in the course of getting ready for work this morning, I made 3 of them. And then I did some more cardboard engineering to make the actual caddy. I can bring that up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so the idea is I'll use 2 of those adapters on the big spools and single ones on the small ones. It's all just cardboard. We've got cross grains going on the bottom, so it's a rigid panel. A lot of I-beam type construction, so the sides make it all rigid. And then using my bottleneck cap mechanism to retain the PVC pipe. And that lets us pull out the pipe to add new pieces.
Yep.
Okay, that's awesome.
And
Caddy.
that's that project. And that was mostly, so I don't have the cut strip on here yet. I'm not going to use a saw blade, or what's the word I'm looking for, because it's all jaggedy, and generally you want your tape edges clean. And the idea of having a row of razor blades probably is not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is just bevel a piece of acrylic and put it across the front there, and that'll give me a nice sharp edge to tear the tape off with.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, good stuff. I like how you're using all sorts of
so technologies.
mediums and more. Okay, email support@adafruit.com, and we will send you an As Seen on Show and Tell sticker. It'll fit perfectly on that caddy. Okay.
It will.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, next up, Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Unmute
Charlie.
your mic and show us your project.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
So you guys actually did a little write-up of this on your blog, which is really nice, but I built these Game of Life night lights using Adafruit modules and a custom 3D printed enclosure. So this is kind of the standard Apple Cube USB charger that everyone's got kicking around in there. This is just my MacBook Pro camera, so hopefully it's coming through somewhat clearly. There's a little kind of raw USB plug thing I got from DigiKey that I had kicking around in there to provide the power. And then here you've basically got a mount for the trinket and for the I2C LED module up top. And so it's sort of those 4 pieces, and this was kind of the prototype that I put together for Christmas presents for a bunch of people this year. And then I just recently got the version 2 boards back from Osh Park.
Oh, neat.
That actually have 16 levels of brightness for each of the parts of the LED.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a bunch simpler little, much smaller overall board construction with the USB etching right on the bottom. So this is literally just a 2-component board. It's an ATmega 88.
Yeah.
And just the raw LED matrix module driven straight from 2 of the 8-bit ports on there to do the multiplexing and stuff. So super cheap construction down to just this is sort of the Adafruit component, and then just about that, much less soldering and that kind of stuff. So and then that basically mounts on the wall with I found a vertical right angle bracket USB adapter.
Yep.
So the entire construction for it is pretty minimal and quick, and then you can throw a little pad on the top and get everything going.
Okay.
That's super cool. Someone needs to do a vlog of 101 projects with those power bricks that you do nothing with.
Yeah, totally. It's just junk drawer stuff that is always laying around.
I feel like it's a new Altoids tin where we used to all put our projects in Altoids tin. Now we have these Apple Power blocks where it's I don't know, I don't need that anymore. It's just, but I'm going to use it one day.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's not a lot of room on one of the projects for a sticker, but that other one I think you could exactly put an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. So.
Awesome. I'll find someplace for
Wrap it around the brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The black one.
Yeah.
You could do that. As Seen on the Show and Tell, and a little flame coming out of it.
Okay, I like the little flame.
All right.
Sweet. Thanks.
Very cool. Yeah, Tony had a good suggestion for another site I could start. Power brick a day. I already did hack a day. I did that one. Okay. All right. We're gonna go to Kenton and then Leon and then see Scott. Hey, Kenton, how's it going? Unmute your mic and show us your project.
Take a few minutes.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey,
yo, you have a Peltier wine cooler project.
Yeah, so
I'm guessing. I don't know.
So I've been using the 12-volt Peltier module. I'm kind of in the electrical prototyping stage, and so I now have it. I'm using a Pro Trinket, and my power went off. Nuts. Literally just shut off. 1 second. Of course, this always happens, right?
Live demos.
Live demos. The trinket always runs away.
All right, so I've got just a tiny OLED, and then I've got a Pro Trinket on the back, and I'm using a DHT222 sensor in order to get the temp and humidity, and I'm using that to drive a relay to give me it's still not coming on. To drive the Peltier, and then I have a heat sink that's actually pulled off of a stock Intel chip, but it's great because it gives you a PWM feedback, and you can, it gives you an RPM feedback, and you can control it with PWM, which is really great. And so it's been really great to see the Adafruit feather wing that has the 3 buttons, because right now I'm using these momentary buttons to actually tell the when to turn on and off.
Oh no.
No. You turned it off.
Kenton.
No.
All right, you're back in.
I'm back. Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. I just explained the whole project while I was gone.
You time travel. Okay.
So I really need to get the Adafruit feather wing that has the OLED on it and the buttons, so I can just modify it just from there. But basically, it's going to do a temperature control and turn on the Peltier when it needs to. But it can do heating and cooling because there's a double pull, double throw relay in there, so I can flip the leads of the Peltier to heat or cool to keep the cooler at the constant temperature.
Okay. All right, that's an epic project. Good, because like
Keeps growing.
yeah, and you're like you want your wine to be perfect. So this is a good experiment. Also, you're learning a lot because it's just like you're not having to do like motor control. You just turn on or off, but you can still do temperature and read it and adjust it.
The longer the project takes, the better the wine gets.
True.
Look at it that way. All right.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much.
project.
Email support@adafruit.com. Either one of the Kentons can. We don't care. And
Okay. Oh, no.
we'll send you out a sticker. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
All right, sweet.
All right. Next up, Bayan. Welcome back. Let's see. Bayan. I think he's caught up in some Visuino stuff.
Nice little icons though.
Yeah. Well, we can. I think he left.
Okay, you want to go to see Scott?
Yeah, sure. All right.
Hey, see Scott.
He's got what you got going on?
Hey.
Yes. Well, I'll wrap up the old synthesizers built from kits as a kid segment here this week. I'm going to pop up a picture here real quick of the interior. This is a machine called the Paya Strings and Things. This was the string synthesizer I used on that Star Wars piece you heard. And as soon as I find its picture, which is not showing up
Strings
here.
and Things. That's it's a very 80s name for something.
Well, it was designed in 1976. The fellow's name is Marvin Jones. What the heck is it? I'm going to have to select Firefox, and you'll see yourself for a second, but I should flip to that. Can you see that picture of that board?
Blue circuit board.
Okay. It's a big blue circuit board. It's about 3 feet long. You'll see that there's a lot of 6-bit dividers. These are 4024s, and I'll use the pen camera here in a second, but these are 40 years old. These are A-series logic. They don't have any ESD protection, which is why this thing's probably not working. Now, this isn't a picture of mine. This is a picture of one I just found with the lid open. Mine is built a little bit differently. I thought that it would make more sense to put these boards down here, and this board has the power supply and the LFOs for the chorusing circuit and those BBDs on it. But I'll switch here real quick to my hello, I'm screen sharing. Let's make it not do that. Anyway, switch to this and my screen share. How do I turn this off? There, I think I just click that and it'll go away. Now, there. Okay, now I select Easy Cam and hello, Easy Camera.
Like a camera.
Okay, we finally have it.
There you go.
We're inside.
Whoa, synth
We're in the machine.
Yeah, this is mine, where the boards are the long boards are on the bottom, so they don't have to hang from this top cover. And over here is the power supply and bucket brigade drivers and final amplifiers and whatnot. But as I was saying, this one is one of those that doesn't use a CPU. It uses what we call a top octave generator. Pick up your Forrest Mims book, look up MK50240. He's got it in there. Every chip in this thing is in that book. I mean, it's probably made about the same time he wrote the original manual. But the top octave chip generates the top octave of chromatic notes, and then all of those dividers you saw in there. Let me flip this back to me so that we're not looking at my phone. All of the dividers just gave you the various violin, cello, and piano tones in the various octaves. And you did not come back. Why? Detect. Is it me? Is it me? Hi, it's me. Okay. Here, I'm not going to try and play the demo because the sound quality coming over this microphone is just terrible. But if anybody wants to hear what this thing sounds like, I just linked it. This happens to be SonicNet M. Jones. M. Jones is Marvin Jones. He worked for Paya. He designed the 1550, so the demo is from the designer himself. He designed it in 1976, and for its day, it was a pretty neat little device. And like I said, you can hear either this demo, you can listen to my Star Wars thing from last week, and this is what we did. I will close on a note. I posted pictures of my 8700 computer. That's a little computer with a black and white touch keyboard and a little 2-digit display in the groups, and all of the 8700 owners just sort of woke up and started contributing like old code readouts and stuff to me. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to make an emulation of the 6503. That's the 4K addressable device. It's really simple. Here's your atmel, here's your socket, and then you just need a latch to hold the address bus. But it looks like this, and it's going to plug down into the socket. It's not going to be a perfect representation because there's a synchronous clock called Phi2 here that isn't really going to be synchronous. I'm only going to kick it when it needs to do an I/O instruction. But there's various 6502 emulators written for AVR out there, and I picked one that seemed pretty popular. There's a computer from the 70s that Moss did that was a demonstration of the 6502 called the KIM-1. I had one of these a long time ago, but I don't have it anymore. But it was one of the things that this person that wrote the emulator did. So I'm like, well, I can do that, even though I'm not really a coder. So I just took his code and started writing stuff where you have to, these are like simulating instructions, get the store absolute value of y and whatnot. But I'm like, you can install the original ROM codes from the 8700 in as just prog-mem statements, and you can fudge the bus by just cram an address on the ports and see what you get read back. But I'll let you know how that works out.
How fast was that chip clocked? I mean, can you emulate it at 16 megahertz?
At 16 megahertz, the effective speed, according to the guy who wrote the emulator, is about 600 kilohertz. And since the 8700 ran at 400 kilohertz, I'm too fast.
Yeah.
So I have to slow it down with some like delay loops at the top of the instruction stream or something. But if it works, I'll be amazed, But one of the guys I'm trying to get in touch with, Bob Yanis, the SID chip guy, he wrote a bunch of stuff for John Simonton back in the day that ran on this computer, and I'm trying to get him to send me his code so I can type it in and see what we get. Anyway, that's what's up.
Okay. All right. Boyan, try to come back next week. I think you fixed your audio, but we got to jam out for Ask an Engineer. It looks like you have GPS support for Biswino, so come back next week. We're here always. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Lon. Thank you, Kenton. Thank you, C. Scott. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Brown. We'll see you next week. We're here every single week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much. If you were on the show and tell and you don't work at Adafruit, or even if you do, it's okay. Email support@adafruit.com. We'll send you an as seen on the show and tell sticker.
Wow, free stickers.
Yeah, we will be on Ask an Engineer in 2 minutes.
Okay. Get it out, C. Scott.
Woo.
This is Mark playing it. See you guys.